As Bitcoin heads towards 60K, just as we have predicted on this show for a while now, altcoins also are continuing to bleed. But here's the thing, everybody. Yes, we have been bearish here at Investing Bros for quite some time. Yes, we've been calling for pullbacks, but here they are. These are the opportunities that you pounce on. There's amazing opportunities coming. I don't think the bottom is in just yet. There's some lower levels coming. We've discussed in the past. We'll discuss again today, not only what you're looking at on the charts, but why you're looking at it. Don't go anywhere. Stick around for the entire episode. This is going to be a good one. We're the Investing Bros. Roll the intro.
Here we are.
What it do, T-Shroom? What it do? What it do? Is there a little bit of a lag on my end?
There is. Discord is not working with us today. It's working against us in many ways. I don't know if anybody else's Discord is being silly, but that's what's going on. So no worries, though. Well, no worries. How are you doing today, Tim?
I'm doing good. My main question for you is, how are you doing, though?
I'm doing better than I deserve.
Good. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. And let us know in chat if there's a little bit of delay. I think it's steadying out on my end. So hopefully if it was lagging, it's steadying out on yours. T-Shroom, before we get too far into it, we got a quote of the day coming up. We're going to check out the markets. Did you buy anything on this dip?
Yeah, I bought some MicroStrategies, and that's about it. Yeah, I've been busy. Haven't had time too much to look at the markets. But yeah, picked up MicroStrategies. I know what else I bought. I bought a little more Tesla. Still nibbling. Still not putting a major position on yet. But getting some exposure to Tesla.
I haven't moved any money yet. My wife and I, though, moved some things around. I'm going to have about $2,000 to be buying here very, very soon. I was in shorts. Those of you who are in our trading group, you know about this. I've talked about it a little bit on the show. I have now officially, I think, taken profit on everything except for my shorts on Bitcoin. And did my short on Ethereum hit just yet? Not yet. In case you guys are wondering, I took a short on Cardano, hit my 42-cent zone, hit my AVAX short, my Solana short. There's a couple others there. But Bitcoin, I'm waiting for 60,000 on the dot. And also with Ethereum, I'm looking for 2,900 on the dot. So haven't ran into those. But once those are out, I definitely am looking at the charts, kind of seeing what is the level that looks like a good buy in the next couple of days. I do want to start off by letting everyone know, though, I put a tweet out about this. In case you're asking the question, Tim, where's a good place to buy? I'll just let you guys know. I think there's a chance we go down to 55. We talked about the chance maybe even go lower. We talked about, we'll look at altcoins today. I've been talking with the trading group about the best places to buy things like Cardano or Solana. As a whole, I just want you guys to know, if Bitcoin does get below 60,000, like it probably will, almost any day and any price you can get sub $60,000, and any price of an altcoin you can get while Bitcoin is sub $60,000 is a very good buy order. So I want to make sure you guys understand the enemy of good investing is the word perfect. Too many people try to buy the perfect price, and that's a mistake. What you're looking for are good levels to buy long-term. And you guys heard it here first. Sub $60,000 is a very good buy. Could go down to 58, could go down to 57, could go to 48. But as long as it's below 60, you should be trying to gather as much dry powder as you physically can to get in before the firestorm that will come later this year when the bull market takes off like crazy. You might not feel it right now. There might be a lot of fear gurgling up in your stomach, but trust me, the good days are coming sooner than you might think. You just got to be a little more patient. T-Shirt, before we get into the charts, we're going to take a look at CoinMarketCap, see what the blood really looks like as a whole. Start us off with some positivity. What is our quote of the day for the day today?
Absolutely. Well, our quote of the day, brought to you by who we trust over at iTrust Capital, is when you become comfortable with uncertainty, infinite possibilities open up in your life. Eckhart Tolle. Don't hear from Eckhart a lot here on the Investing Bros, but we're a fan of this quote for sure. Or I shouldn't lump you into that, Tim. What do you think?
No, I love it. I love it. You know, one thing I learned a long time ago, a lot of people put expectations on things and people And when you put heavy expectations on anything, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. If you're expecting a certain type of Christmas present on Christmas, if you're expecting your significant other to treat you a certain way during a certain time, learn to expect nothing so that everything that comes your way is an amazing surprise. And you're not just always living in disappointment land. So even this, it's not the same, but it's very similar. That it's like, don't go nuts with it. Don't go putting all these crazy expectations, all these things. It's actually a way more enjoyable life to just let life come to you and just see what happens on a day-to-day basis. It's the people that struggle with like depression, anxiety. I guarantee you somewhere along the line, they put an expectation on someone or something that let them down. And I have news for you. There's not a single thing in this world except for Jesus, and you guys can get mad at me for that. There's not a single thing except for Jesus that's not going to at some point let you down. You don't have to agree with me. That's my opinion. But I'm just telling you, check out your own life. Not a single thing in this world stays 100% keeping you fulfilled in life as a whole. So that's kind of where I got to my area, T-Shroom. But let's go ahead and go into some crypto talk here. Let's go check out our bubbles real quick. Let's talk about some red blood in the markets today. You guys are seeing a lot. Say a really big bubble right here. I'm going to let it kind of trickle through and break everything. We got Ron over here is pretty big. Pendle's still pretty big, but I noticed there's just not a lot of green here. Looks like this one right here, Kronos, is up 0.5% on the day. That looks like it's the biggest green bubble. You got a couple other like little dots circulating around here. This one right here, white Bitcoin up 0.3%, but a lot of blood coming today. And again, while this is negative and there's people's portfolios that are down, these are the types of days that you got to learn to fall in love with, because a sea of red usually is followed by some green candles not long after. Let's take a look at a little more details here. Let's go to the market cap as a whole. Check out our top 10. Bitcoin down 3.6%. That's pretty rough right there. Again, we're traveling down here to $60,000 very, very soon. Ethereum, though, bigger bleed, down 6%, but it's not even the biggest one. We're going to keep moving on. BNB, a nice little modest 2.7. Solana here in the last 24 hours showing 7, but I've seen things like since the opening of the day closer to 10% for Solana, going back down there towards 120. You know, T-Shroom, people called me crazy when we were at $200 at Solana, saying, we're probably going to see lower 100, somewhere in the 120 to 110 range. People called me crazy, but here we are on a fine Tuesday, and the price is down there once again. What else we have here? XRP, a measly 3.5%. You're seeing like that's not a big dip. That's not a really big problem. Doge 5%, Toncoin 2%, Cardano 3%. We're kind of keeping that $2 billion gap between the market caps of Cardano and Toncoin. So keep an eye on those. There's also a $2 billion gap between SHIB and Cardano. So I told you guys, I'm a big Cardano fan, but if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you remember my hot take that Cardano will spend some time in this bull market outside of the top 10. They're already sitting at number 10. It's looking like my prediction there is going to be true as well. Let's take a look at our biggest gainers and losers. We saw some of them in the bubbles. One coin on CoinMarketCap is sitting in the green, and it's at 0.2. That's Kronos. We talked about that. That was the one on the bubbles was 0.5. So they must be tracking different exchanges for their prices. But after that, stablecoin. And then we get into finally a first coin that's only down 0.03%. Unius said Leo. A lot of red in the space. It's weird to see down here. You kind of get into our top 10 gainers of the day are in loss. Like Caspa is down 2.45%, but that's our biggest gainer of the day.
Tim, really I'm so sorry. We got some breaking news here. This is actually kind of crazy. According to Watch Your Dog Guru, breaking it here just a few minutes ago, Binance founder CZ sentenced to 4 months in prison. First of all, very low number. Second of all, Tim's got it right. Exactly what he's doing right there. Yeah. Tim, what the heck? I have some immediate tinfoil hats, but what are your thoughts on that? That's crazy.
I will say 4 months. 4 months in prison. That's nothing. My man CZ got off easy. I'm glad for him. Again, I don't think he's a villain. Is he perfect? Did he do some things that probably are not the greatest? Yeah, there's many of us in that boat, but I'm glad for him. I'm glad for him that it's only 4 months, and it's crazy. Again, it's like he was calling it the whole time. I think I forgot. What was his rationale about the 4 fingers again? He had a reason for it. But what was his?
It was just whenever regulators were coming after Binance, where there was some kind of FUD in the market, he would always throw up the 4 symbol to kind of.
Yeah, but there was it meant something, and I think we talked about it at one point, but I've already forgotten. Chat, let us know, what did the 4 mean for CZ? I know one of you guys know about it. T-Shroom, let's go back over the charts. Biggest losers of the day, and we got some coins that are in the BROZ portfolio. So red day for our portfolio. Ordi down 17%, Say down 13%, Pendle down 12, pretty much 13%. It's 12.95. Beam down 10, Arweave 10, Near Protocol 10, and then you start getting down here. We have Wormhole. Here's what I would say. I can't remember if all these were definitely in it, but I will say I think Ordi is a good coin. I think that's going to make it in this bull market. I think there's some good money there. It might be red in your portfolio today, but you see things like this, that might not be a bad pickup. Say as well. I like Say, Pendle, Beam, Arweave, Near. These are all coins that whether I end up getting them in my portfolio or not, if I was reviewing someone's portfolio and they said, "Oh, I have Beam or Arweave or Near," I would not tell them, "Oh yeah, you got to get rid of that. That sucks." These are all solid projects, kind of leading our biggest losers. T-Shroom, you want to chime in there? What you thinking?
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, Ordi. I was taking a look at Ordi today. It looks very attractive if you don't have any exposure, or if you're looking to diversify into the BRC20 narrative. It's still not exactly sure if it's a meme coin or not. It depends who you ask. I personally kind of think it is a meme coin, but I think that when it comes to BRC20, the lines between meme and culture coin, I guess you could say, or like leader in symbolic. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying with that, but I think it's a meme coin.
Okay. Okay. Good. Yeah.
And it's one of the only meme coins I hold, and but I think it's because it's kind of like with Doge, is like there's something behind it. There's some meat behind the bones. It's not just bark. It's also got some bite to it. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. But what are you seeing on the charts?
I hear you. Let's get into those charts. If you're enjoying the show so far, we got 200 people in here already. We're gonna have a lot of people come in today. Again, people want to know what's going on. Make sure you are smashing that like button if you're already subscribed. And if you want to know everything there is to know about crypto, you need to subscribe. We're not gonna tell you everything you need to know. There's lots of things that probably we don't cover on the channel, but everything, everything you need to know to invest wisely, I feel like we cover those things. If you want to get into how do I create a smart contract on,
I was literally thinking the same thing.
We don't go into there. We don't get there. But we're chartists, guys. And if you guys want to invest and make money, I want to make sure you guys understand, like, especially those who have been watching for a while, they'll back this up. I will be the first person to tell you guys when we obliterate a call. If I feel strongly and I tell you guys I think this is about to happen and I get it wrong, you don't have to wait for the haters to tell me that I'm an idiot. I will say, all right, blew that one up, guys. My bad. Right? I'm going to be the first person. But dang it, T-Shroom, if we have not been calling these moves almost perfectly. Do you remember yesterday? And I say perfectly, but do you remember yesterday when we were talking about, let's go to my chart when we talk about this. We were talking about the Hong Kong ETFs, and we knew they were going to come. They were going to happen today, but it was going to happen while we were asleep. And I talked pretty heavily about how when you went back and looked at when the American ETFs were launched and active, you did have this little pump, and we wicked to what was newly high. We went up 6%, but then we fell off of a cliff. And I kind of said, guys, best case scenario, we're going to go back up to 66,000, but I'm not going to be surprised if we only make it to about 65. Well, we wicked early this morning to 64,681. That wasn't, I messed it up, guys. I'm sorry for saying 65. It was only 681. I was off by $300 and some change. It's literally what happened, and we're crashing now because why? It was time. And look at that, guys. As we are live, we did just go back below $60,000. Now, that means we are in amazing buy time situation. Why? Because this is a chart. Again, another thing that did not mean to pull up oscillators. Another thing that the bros here have been watching, the OGs, the subscribers, they watch every single day. You should join them. Hit that subscribe button. We talked about this channel right here, and I'm going to show you another chart in a second, but ultimately, I think over the next couple of months, the majority of Bitcoin's price action will stay in this yellow box. Right? We just dropped down below it. Who knows if we're going to bounce back up into it today. I'll kind of get into some talk about volume and other things. But the thing is that we're going to more than likely end up hitting the bottom of this box at 55K, give or take, in that range, and then bounce back up and be back in this boring range between 60 to 71. I'm talking, when I'm about to say what I'm about to say, I'm talking to traders. Long-term buyers, everything below 60, great buy. I hold it because we're going to get over 100K. We're going to go higher. Bada boom, bada bang. Traders, though, every time we get to the bottom of this yellow box, you're going to start wanting to look for long positions. And every single time we get to the top of this yellow box, this golden box, probably looking for some take profit positions with your trading portfolio. I want to specify that. I am not selling my long-term Bitcoin because we get to 71K. I do, though, think that if I'm trading Bitcoin back and forth and I'm willing to hold a trade for a couple of days or maybe even a couple of weeks, this is my buy zone right here. And I'm selling up here with my trading portfolio. That looks like it's going to stay intact. But let's talk about how much further we could go down. Something I told the entire community to keep an eye on is the volume. Now, I'm a little torn what I'm seeing happen today when it comes to volume. This is the US dollar index, meaning on TradingView, they try to take as much information from other exchanges as possible and then kind of give you the overall average, right? So we're seeing the average is not a spike in volume, but it is an increase here on the 4-hour chart. When I go to Coinbase, and this is something we're going to watch. I told you guys I'd show you another chart. Keep an eye down here towards 58.9 or so with this descending yellow support line. But my point for coming over to this chart was to look at the volume. The volume on Coinbase, and Coinbase I do believe is a very good representation. It's been pretty good, especially when it comes to volume telling us where things should go. That's not an excessive amount of volume. It's higher than it was a couple of days ago. But the reason I keep talking about volume, and I'm bringing up volume, is I warned you guys yesterday what volume will mean during these dips. High volume, increased volume, when we're moving to the downside, it's not just saying, oh, there's a lot of people trading. It's the bears are awake. We have not had an excessive amount of bearish volume because you're going to see almost every single one of these spikes are mostly, if they're red, they're tops. The greens are the bottoms. We haven't seen big red histograms really that much unless we're at the top. So to see the increased volume come in when we're low is a confirmation that the bears are actually more in control at the moment. And so that's where we're sitting in this spot where the volume did increase, but it's not crazy. So there still is a chance we end up getting a bounce right in here and we kind of hover in this 60,000. Maybe we come down to 59, a little bit lower than 59, but there's a chance there's a bounce that comes in there. If the volume increases as we get to those levels and the price isn't bouncing up, then we could be in trouble because not only are we dropping below a support level, the bears are showing a strong sign of control. And that is what would make me say, all right, guys, here we go. 50,000 or 48,000 could be incoming, but definitely 55. I want to see what the volume looks like. So we haven't gotten the door closed on that, but those of you who chart yourself at home, keep an eye on volume. Make sure it's in your indicator package. Make sure you're watching it. If you start to see this thing go up and the candles go down, that's a problem. Now, if we see high volume, but the candles start to bounce up, meaning the bulls are coming back in and buying this dip, here's what that will mean. That will mean for now we are relieving. For now we are bouncing back up. The bulls are once again defending a certain point. But I would believe that means price is probably coming back down those levels in the future, right? So I could see the price. If we got high volume here while we're making a bounce like this, more than likely that means we're coming back down again. What I'm ultimately looking for at a certain point, and this goes to kind of Wyckoff teachings, I'm looking to feel more comfortable about the dip being in a low volume spring where the volume doesn't really do much, but the price action begins to bounce back to the upside. And then the volume comes in once we break into a high position. That's when I'll feel, if I see the low volume spring, I might feel good. And then the confirmation comes with the high volume. But if I see high volume on the bounce, we've seen high volume on the bounce. Let me see. I got to get rid of this stupid drawing. The volume spiked in here on this bounce. The volume spiked in here on this bounce. The volume spiked in here on this bounce. I want to see this low volume stay low and then I'll feel good about this bounce. That is what we call a spring action. It is the ultimate sign of manipulation. I know some people are going to think, oh, if there's low volume, that means nobody's buying, so this is a weak buy. No, that's not what it means. It means all of the retail investors who don't know what's happening are frozen and cannot make a decision. And the whales are slowly but surely buying up all of that supply. They're getting it via over the counter. They're doing it in ways that's not going to show up on the charts like this. And then you're going to wake up and price is going to be back at 70,000, heading back up, and it should be too late for you to get a good buy opportunity again. Again, if the volume's low, decent chance this support level gets broken. Or sorry, if the volume's high, whether it's moving down, decent chance that the support gets broken. There's a lot there. There's a lot I threw at you. So, ultimately, what we're looking for is low volume bottoms. That is a better feeling than if the volume is high when we get down there. That's what you should take away. T-shirt,
gotcha.
Good. You have a question for me?
Yeah, I was just gonna clarify. We want low volume bottoms because that is essentially kind of signals to the market that there's no more to be sold, right? That if there was high volume bottoms, then there's a lot more to be sold.
I'll tell you this: it's not going to tell the market anything because again, the market, retail investors, people, and that's all of us. That's me, T-Shroom. That's most of you guys. I don't think there's too many institutions watching the Investing Bros. If so, let me know. We're idiots. We're dumb money. We don't understand why they do and what they do with their money. So we are going to be waiting for these surefire signs of, oh, it hit this, and then the volume. There's a lot of more people buying. I want to see the whales buying. Ultimately, it will come out days after they buy. Like the price will be significantly higher by the time we found out that the whales buy. But one of the things you can look at that they're looking at is they're looking at this volume. Because here's what it'll tell you guys. Let's go back to my chart. We're doing more education today, and I kind of like it, but we'll get through it. If I am an institutional buyer, I'm a big money buyer, and I see high volume as we're coming down here, what that tells me is you retail investors are selling in bulk. Well, why would I buy at 60K when you guys are very, very confident we're going to be going down even lower? If I can get you to push the price down to 55 or 51 or 48 or 32, then I'm going to let you do it because I believe in Bitcoin long term. I have big money. I know my buy will increase the price. I will let you go as far down as you want to. When we came down over here and we saw these springs of volume, this told the institutions, hey guys, we might bounce for now, but there's a lot of people still willing to sell at this point. The low volume, which is what I'm hoping to come in, tells the institutions they are scared to death, but they're frozen. They don't know what to do. We can't push it down any lower. So let's print some articles. Let's get our paid media to go tell them that they really should be selling and be afraid right now, but we're going to secretly buy. And while they're frozen and not doing anything, we're going to pump the market and make a lot of money. And then the institutions, the retail investors, the dumb money, get back up in when we've hit to new highs. That's the psychology they're using. So if you just use traditional technical analysis and say, oh, support resistance, that's not going to be your best bet. You got to turn your brain on and learn to think. I mean, the art of war. You got to know how your enemy thinks. And in this case, institutions are kind of your enemy. They want you to sell them all of your crypto for cheap, and then they want to sell the crypto to you for a lot. They are the enemy. They're the ones trying to take your money and then give you the bag at the end of the day that's going to drop. But if we can think the way they think and we can react to how they think, that's how we make money, even though we're just these dumb little retail investors.
Right.
That's what we're looking at there. Go ahead.
And I will clarify that the resonance that I have the most with the bull market that we're in is it's okay to be an idiot right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
You want to left curve it. You don't want to be right curving it, trying to justify things to yourself and lie to yourself and be, crazy, putting too much attention on what big banks and institutions are saying. So now is the best time to be an idiot because the tactic to employ is to hodl, is not some kind of crazy, be buying puts on Bitcoin and be doing managing some kind of straddle strategy. It's easy. You just hodl what you got, right? And on the dips, if you have dry powder, you pick up more. It's not complicated. So just because you're an idiot doesn't mean you can't win, I guess is what
I'm not calling anyone an idiot. I'm saying the word idiot because retail investors
I felt like you called me an idiot,
money.
Tim.
Now, you were the one exception, teacher.
Bruh.
Okay. No, so dumb. I'm talking about dumb money and smart money. Even if you have money that qualifies as dumb money, you want to invest it like smart money. But smart money is the multimillionaires, billionaires, the people that control the vast majority of the space. They take advantage of the dumb money. The investors who are only investing $100, $1,000, even $100,000. Like even people that invest $100,000, I would still put that in the category of dumb money. Like, those people are not as experienced. They respond more on average. They respond more to emotional investing, and you got to turn the emotions off. You got to learn how to read when your gut is lying to you, because it never feels good to see this. Like, this is not a good day. This makes your gut say, ugh. But you got to learn how to know, well, this is like this for a good reason and it's going to keep going down, so I'm not ready to buy yet. Or you got to know, hey, this is not feeling good in my stomach, but honestly, the fact that it hurts my stomach so much, and I know my tendency to be emotional about my investing, means I need to go against my emotions. And I need to actually buy, even though everything in my gut is telling me to sell. I'm going to tell you guys right now, especially if you've only been investing for a year or less, that might be one of your best buying and selling indicators is your gut. Do the opposite. When your gut hurts, you probably should be buying. And when your gut feels like, dude, I cannot believe this is so amazing, I'm going to make so much money, you probably should check yourself and be like, probably should be taking profit right now. That's going to be one of your best indicators out there. I don't know why it works like that, but it works. It works very, very well. Let's go ahead and keep going on, though. Let's check out some other things here. If we keep dropping down, I'm going to keep some targets below us. I'll tell you why there's a chance that we don't quite make it. But you guys can see right now, we're sitting on a pretty significant order block. This is Lux Algo, by the way. Part of the reason we've been calling these price movements so well is because this is the best trading tool in the game. And yes, they're a sponsor of the channel, but I freaking love them. If you guys didn't pay for if you guys were like, Tim, I don't like Lux Algo, I'm never going to buy it ever, I'd be like, well, we're going to still talk about it and we're going to use it on the channel because I like being right. I don't know about you, T-Shroom. When I invest money, I like making good calls. I like having a lot of different things come in together to agree that this is the right way to trade. If that's you, Lux Algo is the answer for you. Check it out down below. You even get to join our trading group once you buy it. Going back to the chart here, T-Shroom, big order Lux Algo is the answer for you. Top level. Oh, there we go. Playing the sound back. Sitting around top of the green support band. So this is a good sign. We're back in the green support band, but we've been here more recently here on the 4-hour chart. This is a level of defense that might see a little bit of a bounce, but as a whole, to take profit, if we drop below this and turn it into a pink breaker block, which will happen if we don't bounce on it. Now on the 4-hour chart, you're taking a look here at 58 being the next level of defense, and aggressively, we're going back down here to 55. You come out here to the daily chart, and you're saying, all right, same kind of thing we're looking at here. 59,000, give or take, is the first level of the take profit. Looks like a shoe-in to happen. Then you come down here and you say 56, 55. It says even maybe as low as 54.2, but I'm going to go ahead and say I like the 56, 55 range where the daily charts green support band starts to take place. Now, when we come out here and we look at oscillators, let's go look at what Bitcoin's oscillator is doing. This is another reason to be concerned, and I told you guys to keep an eye on this, but we're seeing increased bearishness today with this big, big blue candle that is happening today. Look at our oscillators. Stochastics RSI aggressively going to the downside and has room to keep going. We rejected on that 50, and we almost rejected on it again. We were a little bit low 50 on the RSI, but we're heading down on our RSI after continuing to not be able to get back above the 50. That's a bearish move. MACD had a moment there where it was like, oh, could we go bullish? Never mind. We're going to go to the downside, and that's picking up steam today. And, of course, the Lux Algo oscillator here, money flow negative, momentum negative. Again, you would have entered a short way back here in March, and there's a chance you might still should be in that short. I don't think I quite entered it right then. I think I entered it over here somewhere. But we're getting two of the big three trifectas of saying more blood coming on the Bitcoin daily chart. When it comes to the 4-hour, let's see if we're getting close to getting some relief. 4-hour, here's where we're saying maybe we get some relief in the next 12, 24 hours. Why? Well, stochastics RSI, super, super low. Isn't curving over, but it's low. I mean, it's pretty much down to the lowest it almost ever gets. We're coming in 81% oversold at the moment on the RSI. Drastically, I mean, we're lower right now on the RSI than we've been in a very, very long time. The MACD is still aggressively going to the downside. Let's take a look what the oscillator is doing. It's still red, so it's not necessarily time to say it's over yet. I remember, I think I told you guys, look for 59,000. I'm going to be interested to see at 59,000 on Bitcoin, do we see the 4-hour start to keel over here on the Lux Algo oscillator? Either way, I told you guys earlier, I've now, again, because we broke below 60,000, I now am in, I hit my take profit on Bitcoin. I'm waiting for a little bit more on Ethereum. I'm not ready to enter a long, but I feel better at this point about a long opportunity in the short little bit than a short, another short. So I'm not ready to enter, and what I'm going to ultimately do is wait for this 4-hour chart to flip. And again, 59, 58,000, and our oscillators here keeling over and money supply going back to the upside. That will be my trigger to enter a longer-term long for Bitcoin. But it does look like we have a little bit further to go down there. Let's take a quick look at a couple altcoins, and then we'll get into some juicy news and details as to why maybe we're doing it. Really quickly, Ethereum, we didn't quite, I don't think we've quite touched that 2,900, so I'm not quite there yet. But why did I call it? I'm going to give you guys a theme here. I ultimately thought that where we kind of just were a couple of days ago, we're going to take the same thing. I kind of rounded up. I was kind of like an average right in here. I don't know. I think I hit 2,900 just because the psychological number there. There's actually not a direct number as we go there. More than likely, Ethereum goes lower, guys. More than likely, Ethereum's going to be dropping down closer to 28, if not lower. But you're going to see this. I called this the other day, guys, back down to these same lows. You see it there on Ethereum. Solana actually now starting to wrestle. I told you guys, keep an eye on that wick. A lot of times where you have a wick, and guess what, guys? High volume. Remember when I talked about the volume here a couple of minutes ago? Where you wick and where the volume is high, eventually you're going to probably come back down. Where it wicks, you'll candlestick. I called for another revisit back down towards 120. And there's an outside chance that Solana decides to keep on moving past that. We've hit the beginning of the take profit, but we're setting up a lot of pink or breaker blocks above us, which are not good signs. I've told you guys, keep an eye on closer to 110 to 115, maybe even down to 100 on Solana. But for now, I think that how fast we made it down here kind of makes me believe 115, 110 should be in play in the same bit of Bitcoin probably making it down to like 58 at this point. So Solana's sitting there. Told you guys about Cardano. Now, Cardano, I kind of had some conversations in our trading group where we were discussing how low this can go. Ultimately, you got the 40-cent zone that we just wicked to the other day where with high volume. So we got the high volume. We got the wick. I think 40 cents is, again, pretty much at this point for Cardano a expectation you should have. But I told you in the beginning, don't have too many expectations. That I kind of have the expectation of Cardano. I'm watching the macro golden pocket here at 36 cents. And then if that gets lost 30 cents, and I'll tell you this right now, when it comes to our Cardano holders, if you're saying, Tim, what's going to happen that potentially could link these prices happening? If Bitcoin drops to 55, I think Cardano will hit 36 cents. If Bitcoin drops to 48, I think Cardano will hit 30 cents. Could go a little lower. Maybe I'm a little too low, but I think those are going to be the kind of zones we see it playing. It'll work out when you look at percentages of things, but that's what we're watching right now. Is I think there's definitely still a good chance 40 cent is revisited on Cardano, but don't rule out the 37, 36 cent zone right here, the golden pocket on Cardano. You're going to see there's a lot of trading that happened back here in November of 2023. Then we just kind of exploded. And yes, we've wicked down there, but there's a chance we come back down. If I turn on order blocks, you're not going to see it there because that's not how order blocks work. So it's kind of a moot point. But you will see the take profit on our 4-hour chart coming in right there on 37 cents, kind of the more aggressive stuff there. So if you like Cardano and you're saying, where's the next buy place, that is your spot right there. Let's take a second away from the charts. We'll do more charts during Q&A section. We're going to put out a video probably in the next week or so. The reason I'm thinking of this is I see someone in chat says ADA equals trash. Forbes put out this, I don't know if you can pull this up, T-shirt, while I'm talking, but Forbes put out this list of I don't know if they call it underachieving or just bad, pretty much bad altcoins or something like that, and gave a little explanation. We're going to put out a video where I'll tell you why I agree with certain choices they made and disagree with others. But ultimately, Cardano was on this list, and their ultimate reason was just that the price action is not doing well. I want you guys to know that altcoins have done this. Is this the list right here? Yeah. So we got XRP, Cardano, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Internet Computer, Stellar, Stacks. That's a big one I disagree with. Stacks, their rationale for Stacks not doing well is very stupid. And I'll kind of address these in another video. But my point with Cardano, if you want to go back to my screen here, T-Shroom, this concept that Cardano, rallied up to 80 cents. Everyone wanted to get to $1. I told you guys it wasn't going to get to $1, right? I kind of said that's just too much right now. It's cooling off, and we're back down here towards 40 cents, and people are freaking out saying, oh, Cardano must be dead. We're down 50% from the high. Yeah, Cardano's dead. It's not going anywhere. And I was just like, man, how fast do we forget? How fast do we forget history has shown us similar things? And we go right back here into June of 2019. Guys, did you guys know Cardano, after rallying 350% during we came up from the bottom of the bear market, Cardano went on to fall 70% before COVID. Of course, if you include COVID, we hit new lows and went down 82%. But ultimately, even if COVID had never happened, Cardano died back in 2019, or at least so everyone thought. And I'm going to go in and say you could go to the bottom of COVID. Let's just go back to the bottom of December of 2019. Let's just say Cardano died. Well, a lot of people got wrecked right there because the coin would go on from the bottom of the pullback in December of 2019 to rally 10,000%. That's not 1,000. It didn't 10x. It 100x. It actually 110x, or what is that? 101x. I guess I'm 106. I'm all over the place. 106x. All right, there we go. I'm gonna settle on that one. Just because prices are pulling back right now, and just because there are articles out there saying that something is not doing well, we have seen historically that until you get into the true alt season of the bull market, don't count coins out. If you don't like Cardano, don't buy Cardano. My point here isn't to tell you that Cardano is a sure thing and you're going to make 100 extra money if you invest in it. It's not the point. The point is price action being disappointing and the popular opinion being that the coin's value is done is not a reason to not like something. If you don't like it because you don't like the founders or the developers or you think that they're not producing something, fair. Go ahead and don't invest in Cardano. I tend to like what the developers have done. I like the roadmap. I still have confidence in the purpose and value of Cardano moving forward, but that's why I'm going to buy. You don't have to. But if your only argument is Cardano is down 50% and I see a lot of people discouraged, that is a stupid argument to think that a coin is done moving to the upside. And I'm not calling you stupid. I'm calling the argument stupid. If your argument is Cardano sucks because the development team sucks and they haven't done anything, fair point. Keep that thought. Don't invest in Cardano. But again, I think a lot of people don't invest in it or they're scared of it because the price is so far down. And that's just not a good reason. That's actually a beautiful and amazing reason. If you do think the dev team is good and you do love the decentralization and the security features of Cardano, that's a great reason to buy when you're 50% down, 60% down, not a reason to sell your bags and walk away.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Tim. I think that was a good rant. We'll have to put
we
that.
Covered a lot. I mean, it's already 3:40. I apologize. T-Shroom, you need to do more talking on the show. I'm going to take a sip of water, and you're going to get us into the news while everybody else there smashes the like and hits subscribe for how this video is going so far.
Absolutely. Well, Tim, just while everybody is watching, take a screenshot of this. This is a nice little reference we like to use. It's not a chart, right? It's not a statistic. It's actually just the English language describing kind of the Bitcoin cycles that have been observed over the years, over the past cycles, bull and bear, and you can kind of read this for yourself. We reference it quite a bit here at the Investing Bros. Is it 100% true and it's going to play out exactly like this? Not necessarily, but it's a good guide for the future and for alt season and for the different seasons that they're in. All right. Well, we're seeing some downside movement on the price charts today, to say the least. I know that I'm feeling it. Tim's feeling it. We're all feeling it. But it's more opportunity out there to buy low. And this is a little bit of why. Bitcoin slips under 62K as Hong Kong ETFs disappoint. I've got some information here to bring you all on the details. The 6 ETFs that commenced trading in Hong Kong on Tuesday fell short of expectations. Tim, what have we been talking about with expectations today?
Don't have them.
Don't have them, exactly. With a combined trading volume of just 11 million, a fraction of the expected 100 million. Bitcoin ETFs accounted for 8.5 million of the tally, while other ETFs contributed to the rest. The Ether ETFs contributed to the rest. So it's about, call it 90% there, 80, a little over 85%. So, or I guess it'd be under 85 because it's 11 million. So call it probably 80% was Bitcoin, and then maybe 20% was Ethereum. So that's about the split you would expect.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we expected.
So Ethereum, had a chance to outperform there, didn't take it, and crypto in general had a chance to outperform there. The market wasn't ready. Now, if you've been tuning into the BROZ, you've been getting grounded coverage of this anticipation. We even asked the question yesterday, is this potentially a sell the news event? Well, it may not be a sell this news event. I think the sell action that we're seeing today has a lot more to do with the Fed announcement tomorrow and the words from Janet Yellen that came out earlier today. But ultimately, the market did not receive these ETFs well. But in the coming weeks, in the coming months, I'm inclined to believe that trend is going to be reversed, that these ETFs will be filled in Hong Kong and the United States. We'll get out of the kind of the ETF drought that we're in right now. It's been basically neutral, kind of treading water. BlackRock, Fidelity, both have had, just generally a little bit of inflows, a little bit of outflows, but not moving in one direction or another. And that's been reflected on the price per coin, right? Just kind of moving sideways there. Well, it doesn't stop there. Generally, in Hong Kong, the economy is not looking all that great. In fact, today there was a little bit of reporting kind of showing that the economy is coming back there in Hong Kong. So you do have to realize as well that, we've been seeing headlines from China, have we not, that things are not going all that well, especially in their real estate industry, but also in the stock market. So it's not like investors are flush with cash, right? They're having to probably deploy capital to keep their investments from going under, is a reality. And diversifying into a riskier asset is probably not the first thing on their priority list. Can that change? That I think it will change, and it could happen sooner than we think. Going ahead and into the other stories, though, Tim, did you have any thoughts on this Hong Kong situation, or is it pretty much what you expected?
Again, we don't expect things. It's what we thought. It's what we thought was going to happen. Sure. I'm not surprised by the recent action again, my surprise of price action is we didn't make it back to 65,000. I thought we'd make it back to 65,000, maybe an outside chance at getting closer to 66. But I said it yesterday. This Hong Kong news is not as bullish as you think. Best case scenario, it gives us a 6% pump followed by a dump. That is what we thought was going to happen. Is what we said was going to happen, and we have been shown correct today. Well, let's keep going to the news. There's a lot of charts we could look at today. We spent a lot of time doing some education on volume today, but there's some other charts that are also explaining today's news that I have good insights for you as to why you should still be bullish. There just is probably a little bit more pain coming. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. We did get a super chat though. Matt C said, "Show this man some love. Great perspective, Timmy." Thank you for that, Matt C. You, my mother, and my wife all call me Timmy. The rest of you call me Tim.
You gotta love it. Absolutely. All right, well, let's keep moving on then. In the realm of Ethereum and the spot ETF, we have a bit of a development, nothing too crazy, but Patrick McHenry tweeting out, new court filings indicate that the SEC, Gary Gensler, knowingly misled Congress when pressed on the classification of Ethereum at a financial hearing to conduct oversight on his agency. So in the statement, it's a little long here, but there was a start here. Classifying Ethereum as a security contradicts previous statements of the SEC and Chair Gensler, yet another example of the arbitrary and capricious nature of the agency's regulation by enforcement approach to digital assets. And then you get a little bit more inside Washington here. This episode underscores the urgency of Congress passing the bipartisan Fit for the 21st Century Act to provide a clear regulatory framework and robust consumer protections for digital asset markets. Committee Republicans will continue to hold Gary Gensler, SEC, accountable for its regulatory overreach that is stifling innovation. How much of this is just kind of political positioning to try and score points with Republicans or folks who are conservative within the cryptocurrency community in the United States? It's not clear, but it is a nice kind of gesture to say, hey, look, we're seeing the arbitrary and capricious operations of the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's not going unnoticed. What they're going to do about it, we're not sure. I still technically, Tim, have that bet with you that Gary Gensler won't be voting on the passage of the Ethereum spot ETF. There's still time.
And right? I'll tell you this right now. There's not many people in this world that know the mind of Gary Gensler better than T. Shroom somehow. Or maybe not the mind, but the occurrence. Like you won the first one. And there are things happening that are making me think that I might lose the second bet to you about Gary Gensler. I feel like you should, whenever we talk about Gary Gensler on the show, you just take the stage because I think you have some keen insight. He was, of course, your professor at your community college in Gainesville, where you were the top economic student. So you have a little of an inside source there. But commenting on this story, I love that McHenry's calling it out because this is the same thing I was thinking. So this recent news is like, oh, Gary Gensler's actually now saying he's been thinking / considering Ethereum a security for over a year now. And I was like, wasn't there like within the last 6 to 8 months times where he was in court or in Congress and asked point blank, do you consider Ethereum a security? And he refused to say yes or no. So McHenry kind of helping remind people who might have forgotten that convenient fact, I think is a very good thing. And ultimately it makes a lot of sense that's what we told you guys. Remember, we said if for some reason the Ethereum ETF gets denied, it'll be because he pulls some kind of bull crap where he pulls out, oh, I think it's a security, just out of his butt. He's going to lose. But the reason why I think T-Shirt might end up winning this bet is because he's going to lose, and eventually Congress is going to say, you're wasting money, which they seem to like, so maybe he keeps his job for that. But you're wasting the taxpayer money. You lose every single lawsuit you ever go in, especially if it has anything to do with crypto. You suck. You're going to lose your job. And then they kick him out and they get somebody else to give the Ethereum ETF. I could see that being a very real possibility, T-Shroom. I still think that's a long, drawn-out process and probably something that couldn't happen with the current administration. So I think you are going to have to wait until election season to be over, in which case we're talking about Gary probably keeps his job into 2025 with no Ethereum ETF. He gets kicked out. A new person gets put in.
Hester
what's
Pierce,
her name?
hopefully.
Hester Pierce. I think she goes by Pierce. Hester Pierce is voted in, and then she, day one, approves the Ethereum ETFs sometime early 2025, which, again, if it happens, like, let's say, January, and we know it's coming, could that be part of the reason why, just perfect timing for the alt season based off the 4-year cycle? It's coincidental, but it's interesting.
Absolutely. Well, staying on theme here, you'll see what I mean in a second. We'll take a quick left turn into the factoid of the day, brought to you by who we trust is iTrust Capital. Here is the factoid of the day, Tim. Chair of the U.S. House Financial Services Committee, Patrick McHenry, is a representative of what great American state? Is it A, North Carolina, B, California, C, Tennessee, or D, Ohio?
He is definitely not A or B. I would know those ones.
Okay.
My brain said it when I didn't look at the 4 options. I always look at the question and think if I'm answering. I wanted to say Ohio during the first bit, like when I saw the question. So, but Tennessee is very intriguing, but I think it's Ohio. I think he'd have. It might be interesting if he would have had if a Tennessee guy had a bow tie. You would think those guys probably have boots and just a normal tie, maybe even one of those like cowboy things. I think it's D, Ohio. I think he's an Ohioan.
Gonna go Ohio. All right, he's locking it in.
Yeah,
he's locking it in. It's North Carolina, Tim. You ruled it out early. Patrick McHenry, Representative of North Carolina's 10th
jerk.
congressional district since 2005. How does it feel to lose, Tim?
Wow. I lost. Yeah, it's a feeling. Justin Irwin got it right. Should have listened to him. A couple people got it right. Tried. Did username get it right? Username. Oh, he did say A. I think they said that after I said my answer. All right, I was wrong. What part of North Carolina?
The 10th
I
district.
thought I knew. Well, okay, that's regionally.
Hickory and Mooresville.
I don't know what that is. I thought I knew the congressman from North Carolina. I was wrong.
It's
like
this
McHenry.
area, Tim.
He's stepping down. Okay, right there by Charlotte. Yeah, he's stepping down though, right? Because he's going to focus on more. I don't know. He's not going to be running for Congress again. I don't think.
That sounds like you're asking me a factoid, and I don't
know. Again, I don't know because I didn't even know he was from North Carolina. Apparently, so I
don't acknowledge your right to ask me factoids. So
good. That's fair. Is that the end of the news for now?
No, it's not. We've got more news. But Tim, this episode is brought to you by iTrust Capital. We put out a video yesterday on how to set up your iTrust Capital account so that you can be on your way to a tax advantage IRA that can contain crypto. Believe it or not, Bitcoin and Ethereum.
And you snuck 9 picks into it too, right there at the end.
That's right.
9 picks of things you could hold in your iTrust Capital account. That could still be good.
What'd you think of those picks, by the way, Tim?
I think they're solid. I mean, I think I will say, my iTrust account probably is not going to be touched for like 30 years, right?
Okay.
The majority of that's going to be Bitcoin. I'm tempted. If you said, Tim, you have to choose one altcoin to add to the list. What do you think it would be?
Chainlink.
Okay, yeah,
Did I guess it?
Well, yeah, I think Chainlink.
Nice.
Is super special. Username, go buy some Chainlink. He loves when I say that. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Bitcoin 59.6. Now we're moving. Yeah, I don't have a high confidence in any altcoin for 30-year outlook. I do have a high confidence in Bitcoin. I have a decent confidence in Chainlink just because of what it's going to do. When it comes to the rest, even Ethereum, I'm not trying to FUD Ethereum, but there's a lot of time between now and 30 years, and things can happen and change, and yada, yada, yada. Cardano, I'm not sure about. Solana, I'm sure about them for the rest of this bull market. I think we have a very good bull market coming. I think that a lot of these coins are going to make it good in the next one. But is there a chance that there's an altcoin that's like the number 2 altcoin or number 3 altcoin 30 years from now that hasn't even been created yet? Yes. I think crypto eventually is going to be like, look at servers in the internet. We don't have 27 or 100 and something servers. You use Google, you use Yahoo. Some of you guys use, there's a couple others. I don't even know. I know of 2 of them.
AWS.
AWS.
Did you say Yahoo as a server? We'll move on from that.
Sure. Exactly. There's only one. There's Google. If you look at phones, there's been a lot of phone companies, but ultimately you got Verizon, you got T-Mobile, you got AT&T, there's a couple others, but ultimately there is this heavy monopoly up top of like, there's just a couple really the main ones that you utilize. And ultimately, I don't know if you guys get this, like we're investors here, we're traders. We want to trade what's hot. There's a lot of good things out there, but ultimately almost every crypto project out there says, we want to help change the financial digital world with speeding up the transactions in a decentralized. They all are effectively somewhat doing similar things. I think the cream will rise to the top. We will not have the 99%, or we won't have like the distribution of dominance spread out over altcoins. It's going to be Bitcoin's going to stay the big thing. And then I think the majority of the dominance is going to stay within 5 coins. And some of those might be the current existing ones, but some of those might be ones that haven't even been created yet. Blockchain technology is still a new thing. Like some of us have been trading and investing for years now, and we'll know better than anyone. Crypto is so far from what its full potential is, it's not even funny. Like we're nowhere close to where we're going to get. And that's, just so you guys know, one of the reasons I'm really big on Cardano is because even if Cardano is not the biggest performer in this cycle, they're doing things in a very secure and long-term perspective way. It makes me think that potentially there's a lot of things that comes out that isn't important to people right now, but Cardano's working on behind the scenes, and they're working on it in a very secure, maybe a slower way than what you want, but they're going to do it and build it the right way. And then while everything else breaks and it's sabotaged and hacked and yada, 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 Cardano secretly had the sauce the whole time. So is Cardano one I potentially put up there as one I think could still be here in 30 years? Yeah, it is actually. But even Cardano to me is not a lock at still existing and being a top coin in 30 years.
Absolutely. Well, we're nearing.
Crux disagrees. He thinks that Bitcoin will be broke. He says 30 years from now, Bitcoin will be broke. We'll have to discuss that more, Crux, because I disagree with that take. I don't know exactly the details of that thought, but we'll talk more in the future. Let's get into more news here, teacher.
Absolutely. Well, so last night we put out a video on iTrust, the tutorial. Tonight we're putting a video out on this project here, XYO Network. XYO, you can see their Twitter here, well followed, 54,000 followers. So we've got a pretty big community, as well as a pretty nice website as well. Keep data where it belongs with you.
Yeah. And I'll tell you guys, just being straightforward, we told you guys when we believe in a project, we're going to take partnerships. XYO is this going to be a paid video, a sponsored video. Do not buy the video. Do not buy the coin based off of anything in the video. If you like the information in the video and you agree with it and you think it's good, then you can buy. I will let you know, T. Shub and I will be holding XYO. We will have some in our bags, so we believe in it. We want you to know up front, it's a paid video. We have a paid partnership with XYO, but we chose them because we actually do believe in what's happening there. But don't expect us to do price analysis. That's something I'm going to be pretty big on. I'm probably not going to do technical analysis and try to like make you feel super bullish about paid coins. Ultimately, we're just going to do reviews on, does this look like a solid project or not? So stay tuned. That video will be coming out tonight. We did the best we can to do our due diligence and give you guys the best information possible and being honest and upfront with you right at the start.
Absolutely. Well, someone else had something to say about the Ethereum ETFs, and it may not put a smile on your face, and that is Michael Saylor. Saylor said in the earnings call for MicroStrategies yesterday that Bitcoin is the only crypto asset that a publicly traded company can hold on its balance sheet, can capitalize upon. It's the one crypto asset that Wall Street firms are going to be able to sell on a spot ETF basis. The entire modern institutional asset economy, the options market, the securities market, the money manager system, the institutional mutual funds, the institutional ETFs, they're all going to be centered around Bitcoin as a digital property going forward, he added. So while I don't agree that Ethereum won't be an ETF, I mean, technically it is. In Hong Kong today, it is trading as a spot ETF. I do think that Saylor does get the second half right, which is that Bitcoin absolutely has the potential to be the center of the future economy, similar to how gold was the center of the economy before 1971. Well, look at this candlestick here, Tim. This is a very green candlestick, and I can't emphasize the amount of foreshadowing here with the green aspect of the candlestick. This is a 23% upside in one day. It's a daily chart here. Yeah. And what do you think this is? Take a wild guess. What do you think this is?
Well, it says CNBS. I don't know what that is. I have no idea.
All right. It is a cannabis ETF.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a cannabis ETF. And why would it be up? Because of this headline here. Attorney General moves to reclassify marijuana as a lower risk drug, officials say. Tim, this could be potentially how Biden pulls a rabbit out of a hat to get reelected, is to legalize cannabis, and this would be a huge 1-2 punch to the pharmaceutical industry, to big tobacco, and to big alcohol, who have been, the reason why cannabis is still a Schedule I drug. But this could be the way that Biden goes ahead and pulls it off. Or this could have nothing to do with Biden, and it's purely the Attorney General who's taking no orders from the higher ranks.
It really does not matter what he does. I don't even think at this point Jill's going to vote for Joe.
Damn.
Again, there's reports that his cabinet is preparing for a transfer of power, meaning they're probably burning documents. No, they don't have confidence they're going to win. They're going to lose. I'll tell you this right now. We don't get political a lot here. I'm going to get political. I'm tired. I'm tired of trying to have to censor everything. But I feel like this is actually kind of middle thing. I'm debating right now when I go to vote, and you guys vote whoever you want to vote for. If you want to vote for Joe Biden, vote for Joe Biden. If you want to vote for me, I'm not old enough, so that will be a wasted vote. I really am contemplating, even though I don't think he can win it, voting for RFK. Do I agree with every policy he puts out there? No. but I like him as a person. I think that he is a man of character. When was the last time we had a president that actually you could say, yeah, that guy is high character? I think it's a while. I think it's a long time since
Reagan,
any
Bush
American would.
one.
Maybe you make, and there's gonna be some people that don't like Reagan. Obviously, I think there's some people who believe Reagan. But long story short, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, I think we all can agree it's been a minute since a man that we considered with high integrity was in White House. Now, there's been men that we might agree with their policies or been like, oh, I think that person got a lot done that needed to get done. But no one's gonna beat around the bush and say that Trump or Obama or Bush or maybe even Bush, oh, these are great freaking Clinton. No one is going to call these amazing men of great honor and character. You might agree with their policy, but yeah.
Now, Tim, the real reason, of course, you don't have to hide it anymore. The real reason you like RFK is because he's a bench press junkie, just like you.
All right, you got it. Okay, now this ousted.
He loves to be ripped, just like Tim. Now, Tim, you've been having some kind of exercise thing. How's that going?
I'm consistent, man. So
good.
Some of you guys know this. I told the audience. If you guys don't care about my opinion, I'm not a political expert. So if you guys think that I'm dumb when it comes to presidency, then go for it. I don't care. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I don't put my my ego on it.
Name all 7 branches of the federal government, Tim.
All right, so there's No, I used to work out every morning, and it's a great way to start your day, and it's a great way to get the energy going. But I got lazy because I went on vacation, and then the baby would keep us up at night. I have a son, Brody. He would cry in the middle of the night, and so it was just an excuse. Like, you know what? I'll just work out after work, and I would for the most part. But then there was times where I usually was getting done with the show and then working out, but then I started having meetings, and then we do like different things. There's times where I'm working until like 7 p.m. So then I'm not even working. I'm not going to work out until 7 and go home at like 8:30. He goes to bed at 7:30. Brody goes to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. So it's like, if I work out after work, I'm never going to see my son. I got to get back to doing it in the morning. And I tried, and I sucked at it because I didn't have discipline. So I said, you know what? When you can't discipline yourself, and I was struggling, you got to get someone else to discipline you. So I told our community in Discord, Monday through Friday, this doesn't count for Saturday and Sunday. So Monday through Friday, I'm going to wake up and work out before work, at least for an hour. And anytime I don't, and somebody in our Discord group says, Tim, how was the workout today? And I did not do a workout, I have to pay one of the people who asked me how my workout went $10. Now, I haven't had to pay yet. I've been good. I started on Friday. This is Monday, Tuesday. So, I'm only into day 3 of the challenge, but I'm keeping consistent here. I'm being a good boy, and I'm waking up. But yeah, it's one of those things. Like I'm a big believer that when and this is why it sucks I got so undisciplined, I think that what you do in one area of your life, one way or another, will translate and dictate how you do other things in your life. So you might operate at a time where your health is really good and your work is really good, but your family life and your balance with family is not very good. Or your finances are not very good or something. And eventually, when you're sloppy in one area of your life, if you don't make conscious efforts to fix it, it will eventually affect your other areas, where the excuse to be sloppy in your health excuses you to be sloppy at work and sloppy in your family life and sloppy with your finances. But when you start to control one of them and you stick to it, it will eventually impact how you do other things. And so I feel like I'm good with my work life. I think I'm good with my finances right now. I'm good with my family. But I was like, no, my workout routine kind of sucks. And effectively, my diet. When you're not working out a lot, you don't really care about your diet. So my diet hasn't been great. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna break this down one by one. I got to get back to being consistent in the gym. And I'm a big believer in it. When you start to apply discipline in one area, watch it snowball and trickle into every other area. But if you stay undisciplined in one and you refuse to address it, watch it snowball and trickle into every other area of your life, and you'll get sloppy and lazy and undisciplined. I just think that's a terrible life. I'm a big fan of discipline. I'm a big fan of structure and fulfillment. And I think you get fulfillment when you are disciplined.
Got it. I like it. And it all goes back to RFK. I'm still pretty unconvinced that a non-Republican or Democrat could win in the United States. Yeah,
as I said, I don't think he can win.
So we'll see. I mean, things could change, but the problem is that way too many Americans are happy. They're just as happy as can be. They don't see a problem with the existing system because they don't think that the debt will ever have to be paid off. Any politician who isn't saying that the U.S. debt, the $34 trillion, isn't the number one issue, is to me kind of, you have to ask some questions. And so I think that you kind of see the way that the wind blows there. But I think voting for anybody other than a Republican or a Democrat is, and I hate to say it, it's a waste of a vote. And I wish it wasn't like that, but that's the system we've been handed. Which, hey, it's a pretty darn good one, if you ask me. So, all right.
Yeah, I go back and forth on that. When we have to have more of the conversation in our members only stream tomorrow afternoon.
It's almost like politics is interesting, Tim.
It's almost like it's interesting. I'll say this and then we'll move on. I understand it, but I don't love the argument that not voting for the Democrat or Republican is wasting your vote. And I'll explain more tomorrow in the members only stream.
Yeah,
if you want to join
that'd be a great
member
time to talk about
and
it.
come over and talk with us tomorrow after the live show, I'll go in more in depth if you remind me on my thoughts on politics.
And I will set Tim straight as to why it is a waste of a vote.
We'll see. That'll be fun.
All right, we're having fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and everybody tune in to the 9 a.m. stream. We had a good time this morning as well. Look, prices are coming down, but we've got smiles on our faces. Why? Because we're adequately exposed to one of the biggest, price movements to the upside of our generation. It's a huge opportunity, but we're also managing risk appropriately. So we're not investing more than we can afford to lose. Guys, if you can't pay your rent this month or next month, that's a problem. If Bitcoin continues to go down, you're going to have to sell your crypto holdings for a loss if you bought within the last 3 weeks, and you don't want that, right? So keep money on the side. As bullish as we are, that we do the exact same thing. It's not like we're 100% in Bitcoin, right? You have to keep whatever filthy fiat, right? You got to keep a little in your bank account. Be responsible is what I'm trying to say. And if you're leverage trading, that's great if you know what you're doing. But just be conservative. Treat it with the respect that it deserves, because people get wiped out in the leverage markets all the time.
Cool. So we're in the news. We'll wrap up with some Q&A here. Yep. We will not talk politics because that's saving for tomorrow. And we'll do TA. I wanted to show while people get some questions in chat. I was going to show you guys a reason that I think prices continue to downside, but it should give you a perspective of saying, oh, that's cool. That could be actually pretty bullish. We talked about it the other day, but go back to my screen here, T-Shroom. This is the Dixie chart, everybody. Remember, we talked about the resistance level, this falling resistance level that we were getting back close to. Didn't quite touch here, but you're saying we're pumping here again. Guess what tomorrow is, T-Shroom?
Fed day.
FOMC. I almost said FOMO day. FOMC. FOMC.
Yep.
They call it the FOMC day. I think there's a chance that we have volatility. What if we do see the Dixie kind of spike here a little bit? Maybe see crypto even have maybe one of those like flash crash things. I think there's a chance that maybe, I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen, but if you want a good bounce and confident move to the upside, the FOMC or the FOMC is something that could bring that. If when we get to the podium with Jerome Powell, after he continues to pause rates, he's not going to raise rates, he's not going to cut rates. Don't be surprised by that. I'm going to be interested to how he answers questions. Does he get into a spot where he starts to talk about rate hikes? That's bearish. Price go down, right? The things will go down. But if he continues to maintain that there's not evidence that we'll need rate hikes, I'm sure someone's going to ask, but rather for now it's just a pause and wait and see, that could be bullish and could cause some of these markets to bounce once again. So keep an eye on that. But Dixie getting close to resistance level. When that bounces, it should be good for the likes of Bitcoin and altcoins moving forward. Yep. Let's look at some questions here.
And just on the Fed, just to preview it a little bit. I mean, this is one of those that could go either way, right? State Street, which is, it's nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It's a relatively well-respected institution. They're predicting that we're going to get a cut tomorrow. And that would not be what I think the market has been baking in. The market has been baking in a pause. That's why you're seeing volatility into the close today.
Wait, who said that we were going to get a rate hike?
Or cut. Did I say?
Yeah, we're not going to. No, I might have heard you wrong. They're
That's
not going
okay.
to. Yeah, we're not going to cut rates tomorrow.
Yeah,
No.
so State Street a couple weeks ago came out, and Caleb Franzen and the Bros,
Caleb
and
and Francis.
we all laughed at it, and but they could be right, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. This is one of those where it's not certain. We've seen inflation start to tick up, so there's probably a pretty strong argument for there being a pause, right? But it's also an election year, and there is some of that tinfoil hat. At what point do you start cutting to kind of go ahead and ease the pressures on the economy and bring those interest rates down so that millennials can buy homes, right? That is something to think about as well. So there's a lot of calculus going into it. Hopefully, they make the decision based on what's best for America, what's best for America and its population. But we shall see. And it's going to be interesting one. I think that the press conference is going to be very, very high stress. I think it's going to be the markets. I do believe will be reacting pretty strongly to this decision because I don't think the markets have been able to agree. That's why you've seen the S&P cut back. What is it, like 6% to the downside? There's uncertainty moving into this period where the Fed is going to change at some point. It's going to change its monetary policy and start to ease. So we'll see.
Yeah, good stuff there. Let's real quick. There's a couple of things here we're going to look at. I'm going to look at DOT. I'm going to look at Matic, and I'm going to look at what did someone else ask for? DOT, Matic, and
Dog whiff hat.
Maybe no. Real quick, Bitcoin though, guys. Look at the bounce happened.
Nice,
right there.
Right off that channel bottom.
The 4-hour closed pretty much right on that yellow line. I can fix this a little bit. It's not quite touching everything. So if I make it touch everything, we actually went a little bit below it. But yeah, right there. Found some support on that yellow line. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Let's take a look at, let's start with DOT. It's first time I think. We're going to look at Matic as well here. DOT, let's turn on Lux Algo again. Thank you to Lux Algo for sponsoring the channel and making such amazing calls and helping us make money. Again, if you guys want to join our VIP trading group, also, you got to buy Lux Algo at this point now to get in there. We got a big breaker block back up here at 664, but I saw people say like, oh, DOT's at $6, great buying level. Remember, there was a beginning of the take profit here on the 4-hour at $6, so we kind of talked about that. But I'm even kind of a fan of a pullback back here to 548. One of the reasons why, when you come out here, let's go to the daily chart. Let's turn off Lux just so we see some clear stuff right here. This is going to be the Fibonacci levels, guys. This is going to be golden pocket right in here. And I grabbed the wrong tool, guys. All right, we're going to grab the right one this time. There we go. Look at that. Golden pocket coming in down here, sub $6, kind of at the $5.50 zone. So if you like $6, just wait till $5.50 for Polkadot. It's kind of where I'm sitting at with Polkadot. Let's take a look at Matic. Let's go back to the 4-hour chart. Let's turn on our Lux Algo again. Again, hitting a nice little bounce around that green cloud. Got a big breaker block back up here at 70 cents. Take profit here on 4-hour at the moment, kind of telling us conservatively 63 cents. More aggressive 57. Don't know if I necessarily think we have to go all the way down there. I'll go zoom out in a second. It's been a minute since I did heavy Matic TA, but I like what I see with Stochastics RSI being super low. RSI after flashing being oversold. Looks like we have a little bounce coming in there. A MACD looks like we're getting a pink histogram, which is a bullish sign. Let's see what over here. Not ready to enter a long just yet, but we got the green reversal after the green dot. Let's see the momentum go up, and let's see the money flow go up. But as a whole, not too confident on that one. I still think 63 cents is in play. We're at 66 cents at the moment. On the daily chart, let's just come out here and see what it is saying. A more aggressive take profit. All right. No. All right, so this says 50 cents. And can we hit 50 cents? We could. I'm not trying to say we won't hit 50 cents. But look at where the sell order is. Look how good Lux Algo did at calling that sell.
Wow.
This is not the original take profit. They're pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good at when they had a sell order, the first take profits hit. This is one where we just went through the take profit so aggressively. I'm going to guess it's somewhere in this range. That's why we have a breaker block right here. That now it gave us a fresh new one all the way down to 50 cents. Could we see it go? That would be a pretty aggressive fall on Matic. It's definitely doable. I just am not necessarily expecting it. A 60% fallback. I think that's crazy. I definitely like the 60 cent zone again, though. Here, 63, 60 cent zone on Matic. And if that can't hold, yeah, maybe. I mean, now that I'm looking at it more, there's a chance. 50 cents does actually look doable. Negative MACD for sure. RSI rejected. Stochastics on the daily chart, it looks like it wants to drop even further. I'm not saying it's a sure thing here, guys. But if Bitcoin goes, I'll say that if Bitcoin goes to 48, definitely 50 cents again for Matic. I would say now that I'm looking at it. And this what sometimes you get to watch me kind of wrestle with my price predictions live. So there you go. What I said there was one other, and I see a lot of suggestions, but I can't do
Polkadot?
that many. I just did Polkadot. If
What
I
was the
can't
other one?
remember, I don't know.
Ondo?
No,
I can't remember what it was either. Caspa?
I can't. Let's see
ICP?
there.
AVAX?
I'm
BNB?
sitting here delaying time. I'll just do you tell me. You're gonna be the ultimate decider. What's the last coin we're doing TA on?
I'm the decider, like George Bush.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we weren't doing any more politics. Let's do Ondo.
Ondo. Good old Ondo. Let's see what's happening.
Tell me
Again,
Ondo.
a coin is very, very far from being oversold. Or it's not far. It's far from being oversold. We have a long way we could go down with Ondo, but I like what is going on here. Daily chart. That smart trail is going to probably continue to be some decent support. So keep an eye on 67 cents. It's not been around that long.
Has it even
so
gone
what we're
down?
seeing here, look at that. Breaker block and the take profit on the 4-hour chart with the big order block, 67 cents with the green support. Green cloud of support. I think 67 cents is a pretty good level. It's just one of those things that, like, because it's a newer project, it could the floor could just fall out and it crashes really hard. From a trading perspective, we should start seeing support. There's a lot of S's in there. Around 67, 65 cents, give or take. Aggressively could get down to 56. If I were to play the game of Fibonacci, I don't need to go way, way back. Let's just start with this level right here. Golden pockets are pretty normal pullbacks, especially when bearishness is kind of flooding the news. Golden pockets going to be coming down here. 55 cents. That's kind of towards the lower level of the take profit there, kind of perfectly. So I think you're going to see some support bouncing here at 65 cents if Bitcoin only goes like the 55. But if we see a 48 in play for Bitcoin, maybe 55 for Ondo, of course, that would be a little bit more than a 50% pullback, give or take, or a little right around 50-cent pullback. Not abnormal, not weird. That's kind of what we're looking at for Ondo for a good buy level if you're looking to add to your Ondo bags. Here's what I will say. People who are bullish on Ondo, I'll need to do a longer-term price prediction video. I'm going to do another one tomorrow. Haven't decided what coin I want to do just yet, but I'm going to do another long-term price prediction tomorrow. Ondo is one. Currently, we're trading at around 73 cents. Do not be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if Ondo gets over $10 and starts to make some form of a push closer to 15 to 20. I don't know yet. I got to do a lot of analysis stuff there. Haven't studied the tokenomics in depth. Need to look at a lot more details about what's happening there. But I think market cap wise, it can get a lot of money in its market cap. I think this is a coin, especially with the backing of BlackRock, could make a top 20 appearance at least. And from where it's currently sitting to get all the way up to that level, that's a lot of money coming into the market cap. And so if the tokenomics are not bad, this is a coin I'm for sure putting in my category of 20x, maybe 30x still in play. But doesn't mean it can't go a little bit down from here. That's all we have for you guys today. If you have not done it already, smash the like button. And I know there's some of you that haven't because there's 300 people still watching. And there's only maybe 200 likes. I haven't checked here in a second. But go smash the like button. Hit subscribe. Guys, we are growing super crazy fast. We still have a goal before the end of May. We start May tomorrow. Let's be over 20K. Can we do that, guys? Over 20K? That means we need about 4,900 and 4,800 more of you to hit subscribe. We can do it. You can do it. Smash subscribe. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Adi.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividends. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We We are investing bros.